Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I don't know whatever place it is that you're tuned on to the Life Signatures Radio. It's a daily show. And whatever place it is you're tuned on, we are in the middle of a series. Actually, we've started winding up. We're going to do maybe 2 or 3 episodes and then we come to a close of this series. We're talking about the powerful psychological tool of detachment and how important it is to our productivity in life. We have been created to be productive, and for us to be productive, we've got to be at a top-notch mental state. Gotta be at the top-notch physical state. Gotta be at the top-notch psychological state, even emotional state. Now, detachment is one power tool that enables you in terms of your psychology and in terms of your mind, in terms of your spirit. It enables you in terms of your emotions to be well prepared to continue being in momentum and do things in terms of productivity, even as you balance those things that are in your control with those things that are outside of your control. So let us look at that once more today in this episode. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
A lot of groundwork has already gone into these episodes in this series talking about detachment. We gave a definition of what detachment is, and probably I should go back and tell you what it is. But if you have been following these episodes, you've been following this podcast, you understand what we're talking about. You understand that this detachment that I'm talking about is a powerful psychological tool for those of us who are hell-bent on being productive. It's very, very powerful if at all you know that there are some things that are not necessarily in your control and you are waiting on them. You've done your part and you are waiting on the outcome, and the outcome is not 100% dependent on you. If you are not someone who is practicing detachment, it follows that you can get paralyzed in life so that you don't get an opportunity to do other things. You don't get an opportunity to have momentum in your life because you've put everything on a standstill until such a time that whatever it is you're waiting for, which is not in your control, is handled. Time is lost. Emotions are lost. Momentum is lost. So detachment, as we've said, is the mental and spiritual acknowledgement that you are not fully in control of a matter or of someone's decision in your life. It is strengthened by the fact that you have already done that which is in your plate, which is in your control, which is in your part. That is exactly what detachment is all about. So let's face it, the earliest we understand what detachment is, the earliest we are in control, the better it is for us to be productive. The earliest we understood that we will not always be in control of everything in life, the earliest we are in a better position to make productive decisions and productive communications within us so that we can be able to continue being productive. That's why detachment is important. Look at it this way. We are normally told that no man is an island, and it's true. You need people. I need people. In other words, we depend on each other. You cannot be self-sufficient. You cannot do everything by yourself. At some level, we even depend on the divine. In fact, at all levels, we even depend on the divine. We need each other. We cannot do life alone and autonomously. In every endeavor we have, there will always be input needed for somebody else. Whether we hate that person or we don't, by the time you wake up today in the morning, very many things have gone into place. It goes without saying that you will need input from someone else in order to do your life. We cannot do life alone and autonomously. In fact, physics tells us that for every action there is an equal but opposite reaction. And well, it is always the same with relationships. It is always the same with relationships, whether they are business relationships, family relationships, or otherwise. So to be detached, even as we're talking about it, is to acknowledge that there could be more than one outcome from the circumstance that you are in, and to bring yourself to accept the outcome, whatever it is, especially if it's not in your control. Bringing this outcome might not be in your control. So to be detached is to acknowledge that, yeah, it's a binary. It could be yes, it could be no, and whatever it is, I am ready to accept and I'm ready to move on. So as you wait, you've already made a mental shift, you've already moved. See, that's what we need to do if we're going to be productive in our lives. This means that at some point in time we might not be totally in control of what has happened or what is happening, or in control of the outcome that we want. That's where detachment comes in. However, for detachment to work properly, one must make sure that you have done your part. I have said that over and over again. You do your part to conceive and detach yourself. Let the baby grow and let nature take care of itself. Let the nature take its own course. You don't worry about what you cannot control. You do your part to plant seeds and detach yourself. There is a process of germination which you are not in control of. Otherwise, you'll spend sleepless nights wondering if the seeds will grow. You detach yourself. You do your part and you build your business. You identify the niche, create solutions and products for the problems, solve problems for people, and let people know about that. Then you practice detachment. I know this sounds silly. You practice detachment. It's not in your control that everything will fall into place. You do what you can do and you let detachment work on the rest. You do your part and you raise your child in the best possible way. Then you detach yourself from the process as they come to adulthood. You know that you did everything possible, everything in your power to equip them, to prepare them, to mentor them, to give them wisdom and guidance as far as it was in your control, it was in your hands. So you did your part and you let go. That is what detachment is all about. So today, let us just, even as we're coming to a close of this, let us just go deeper and talk about those two major things that are in the equation of detachment. Number one, it is about control. Have you ever seen a control freak? They are a danger not only to themselves but to the people around them. Woe to us if the control freak is our manager, someone who is supervising us, or our father or our mother. They want to be everywhere with all the details in their control, and they are not God. They want to make sure they control sometimes even how you think. Have you ever been invited to church by someone and then they want to control how you worship? That's a control freak. They want to be everywhere all the time and make sure that everything is done as they would have done it. I have to say that having control is a very good thing. I acknowledge. I'll be the first one to acknowledge. In fact, we all ought to have control at some level. However, as I've said, life is structured in such a way that we need every other person that we can in our lives. And there is one who is in ultimate control of our lives, who is God. Our control in life is about ourselves, and that's the circumference that it covers. We can't control all other things. It covers the decisions we make. Our control covers the decisions we make, the desires we have, the actions we can take, and the way we respond to things in life. However, we are not in the nucleus of other people's lives and events and thoughts and desires and whatever it is that they want out of this life to exercise control over them. We can't. That's a cult. Even God himself practices detachment. I've told you this. He practices detachment so much so that he has given people control over their own lives. People curse God, call God names. They use his massive name in vain. They declare that he doesn't exist and so on. And that's why the world is how it is right now. God is detached from it, but it doesn't mean that he has abandoned his responsibilities. See, control. For control to work in total, one has to be aware of the diversity, the uniqueness, the differences in people. We have different motives, different purposes, different motivations, different capacities, different timelines, and so on. The list of our differences is endless. If we seek to have control over all these things, you will fail in a massive and miserable way. That's why I preach and I tell you, you need to practice detachment and let the diversity take its route. Let people thrive the way they were formed to thrive, and so on. That's what detachment is all about. It is about control. It is about letting go of the things you cannot control and maximizing the things that are within your control right here and right now. Tomorrow we're going to close these episodes and this series about detachment. But until then, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.